Okay, so here for this video, it's gonna be the fun part, kinda. We're gonna add little details, do little designs. So the first thing I'm gonna do actually is let me take out the symmetry, and I think yeah. And actually, I am gonna remove my fillets by going query edit, selecting them, undo, selecting them. Ah, Autodesk died on me. It's gonna happen all the time. So as you saw there, Alias died on me because it was stupid, and it does stupid shit like that all the time. That's gonna happen throughout anytime you use Alias. It's very unstable as a software, honestly, but that's just how you just got to get used to saving all the time, especially when it has anything to do with fillets. And that's also the main reason why I'm always just deleting history. I have it hotkeyed up. It's delete construction history. I press W on my hotkeys. Yes, I do that all day with all my history, just because I'm just so used to not using history, because that happens all the time, and I'd rather not deal with that. So obviously we have this cool little, very basic cell phone. So let's make it less basic. First, I'm gonna actually, now that I showed you guys what this all this curvature stuff, we're actually gonna go back to theoretical, because if I don't, a lot of times when I'm modeling, for example, this one surface here on the inside, I know that I might want it later, but I know that right now I'm gonna do some other stuff. So I'll have a layer and I'll sign it, and then I'll call that layer like archive, and then that way I know that I might, by the time I get to that point again, I might not need it, but instead of deleting it, I have something to sort of work with, and the next thing I'm gonna do is untrim everything, because I want to get this edge to edge, and I want to get this one edge to edge. And it's actually fairly simple, because I didn't move it too much. I only moved the last CV, and then I moved this a little forward. So I have to go here and add the fourth one, move it close like that. Oh, whoops. Move it closer to here, and then get this CV, and then just align it there. So this should be, once I align it using object edit, align positional, right? Because I don't want to change the tangency. I just want to, I should be fairly, all I have to do is maybe do that. And then let me check curvature. I have this all, because you can, I have my positional checks and all that hotkeyed up. So that way I could just go here and do that. See, now I know that that's positional and that's positional. So now I know that it's all nice and closed up. This bottom, I can do the same shit I did before, but since I already know that the bottom and the top are the same, I'll just grab this, control copy, paste, and then snap it to 0, 0. Oh, whoops. Snap the CVs to 0, 0, 0. Okay. One of the things that in terms of cell phone design is always like this edge, right? Apple did this a long time ago, where they with the iPad, or the what was it called, the iPod, that they made this really nice and round, and then it would bend back to that, right? So I kind of want to do that. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I want to bend all of these up, to give them a bit of curvature, or a bit more volume here instead of being flat. So I'm gonna extend using my extend tool. I'm gonna extend this up, and then I'm gonna extend this up, and then I'm gonna align using my object edit align tool, right? Object edit, align, positional, which is G0. That is up here in my align tools. Like I did it, how I said before, have them all set up. because now, you know, at this point, I think I've said all that enough. So I'm just gonna sort of be like, okay, you need to get alignment with positional, and then I'll use my own hotkeys just because there's no point of always showing you where the tool is, you know. So my position align is right here, right? And then I'll delete the history, and then I'll position align this to this, and then now my underside has a nice little. It's a little rounder. Then I actually want to make it really nice and smooth in the back. I also want a nice little bevel up front, you know, in terms of like or maybe a bevel like this way. I don't know. I'm sort of like, you know, just kind of go on automatic, you know. In terms of design wise, I'm sort of honestly, in terms of design, I'm just thinking, what would I like? And now I know that I want this to be more so I'm gonna start setting up a corner here because I do want this to sort of go out and then back in, and actually as I'm building this, I might you know, I'm gonna try to sort of not I want to show you guys how I go through the process of figuring this out, because it's not like I have right now in my head I have an automatic way that will guarantee it works, but I know a certain amount of stuff, right? So what I'm gonna do first is what's the first thing I'm gonna do? First, I'm gonna add a point here because I kind of want this to be farther out, and I'm gonna use a 45-degree line. So it's obviously super easy to make a 45-degree line. You just kind of do that, and then set pivot to the corner, and then I'm gonna put it here, and then the same thing, and I'm gonna make it shorter. Oh, whoops. Right now I'm using the Control CV tool, but I could also use my extend tool. You know, like extend. Like that, make that shorter, and then on this side too, right? Something like that. Whoops. Like that, and then move to here, move to here, and then I'll detach here now just to kind of cut it there, right? Then I'm gonna rail this and this, rail, right? Then I'm gonna extend them and extend them, and then that way I could see where exactly they're landing together, and extend this out just a bit more. And now it's so close, I'll just extend this out. I'm trying to find their natural 45-degree intersection. There you go. And then from there, I don't want to. I think maybe that's a little too much. So I'm gonna extend them even farther, like maybe like that. Like I'm trying to figure out where the core of my fillet is gonna go, like the actual turn. And then from there, I'm gonna go here, and I know that from here to here, it would be a little too aggressive, you know, because I want my fillet to go here, and then I would have to put another core here. But I kind of want all my I kind of want this to be the after this corner to sort of like go all the way over there. So I'm gonna have to. It's a fairly difficult thing to do if you don't know what you're doing, or you don't understand the science behind fillets. But we're gonna slowly figure that out, because what I'm thinking right now is I need this to go all the way over there. And okay, so to help me out, I might actually use the 45-degree too, because I need a constant angle between here and here for when it reaches this corner. So what I'm gonna do is actually extend this out with non-merge, because I want this out like that, because I'm gonna use that to align another object later. So let me do that. So extend, object edit, extend, but without the merge on, and it's gonna be linear. And when I hit it and go, see, it gives me this, right? Then I'm gonna use that and rail it, right? This is gonna be more of a slave. It's called this. I call it a slave surface. I'm gonna use it to align my other stuff to it. Okay, so same thing, right? Same thing. Actually, it doesn't need to be that angle. Because it's basically, I'm gonna use this to align the surface that I'm gonna eventually place here. And then that way I'll have the direction will be very constant. So the tangent will be very constant. So it doesn't need to be an exact, it could be more what I'm feeling, you know? But I do want that same angle on the other side. So what I'm gonna do is actually copy this, control copy, paste it here, and then rotate it 90 degrees off the x-axis. 0, 0, 90. No, negative 90 degrees. 0, 0, negative 90. There you go. And then I'm gonna rail this. Right? Okay. And then, so then what I'm gonna do is find a constant distance between these two, so that I can make a surface that reaches this. So let's I can use my tubular offset here, right? But it would have to be probably like maybe 10, because I kind of need a lot of control. Maybe 5. Right now I'm basically trying to figure out how far in is this surface gonna sort of transition. I think 5 is fine, and then I'll add here too. 5. And then I'm gonna trim this. And then I'm gonna get these surfaces I made, and I'm gonna use my freeform blend tool, surface edit. What is it? Multi-surface blend, freeform blend. And one side I'm only gonna need tangent, and then this side I want curvature. So side 1 is curvature, and the side 2 will be tangent. And I'll just do connect ends like that. And I wonder if here I'm trying to figure out if there's an easier or if there's a way to clean up this. But let's look at it like that first. I'm trying to make it so that it doesn't need to follow the edges, but I don't think the freeform blend has that that option. Whether it's rebuild or not, that's what I'm kind of like looking up right now, but I don't think it. Maybe here. No. But anyways, right now I'm still sort of trying to figure this out, right? I'm gonna do it on the other side too. Freeform blend. Let's go back to here. Freeform blend, here and here. Same shit. All right. Because basically what I'm gonna do after this, right now I'm just sort of like push ahead real quick, is I'm gonna hide, these are not gonna be here, invisible. This is the old stuff that I don't need, so I'll put this in the archive. And then I'm gonna use this to, if I file save as, just because it might freeze, right? Because I'm doing a fillet. 3. I'm gonna do a fillet, and then the chordal length will probably like 1.5 probably. Like that. It's even less. 1. Yeah. See, I'm sort of doing this, and I'm sort of I'm trying to figure out the best, cleanest way to make a nice outer bezel like that. See, and the reason why I'm sort of focusing a lot on the angles is because of these angles right here. I want to make sure that when this fillet goes around this corner, the core of this the core of it is the same, and that's why I'm using that slave surface here to get that angle of this, because if this hits the same sort of angle to that, it makes everything a lot cleaner. If we analyze if we analyze the curvature, right? If I go here, and actually now that I look at it like that, I feel like maybe we should do it give it even more space to bend up. But let me see I can evaluate the curvature, right? And this sort of helps me figure out exactly how it's bending. Right? And then with this one, if you remember, we have that corner. I'm still gonna add that corner later, so it'll eat up that difference, and over the turn, it'll make it a less obvious, this little difference. But honestly, since this is a beginner one, I'm trying to figure out if I should even be that detailed or that advanced, you know. But so far, do I like it or not? That's what I'm really trying to figure out, is, do I like if this was the back of the phone, right? If I use maybe this one, but with a more like aggressive shader, right? And let's see. So it definitely, to me, this one definitely has like these edges here, right? But it depends, right? What you really like in your phones. What I'm gonna do though is I feel like this is a too abrupt of a transition, so I'm gonna make it even bigger. So let me just take a quick break. Okay, so guess what? It is complex lesson time, because I know that I'm sort of kind of going on autopilot right now. So I want to step back and tell you guys exactly what I'm actually doing here. I know that it's like, okay, why doesn't he just connect them and add the fillet? Why is he doing all these weird railings and all that? Because that's how fillets and chordals and all that works. You know, we're gonna go back always to my philosophy of making sure that we understand the actual math behind what we're doing, right? So I'm gonna do a couple things. One, I'm gonna just make 2 surfaces like that, right? Like that, and like that. Whoops, like that, right? Then I'm gonna do the same thing but instead of let me I guess I'll put it because I want to put them next to each other. So I'm gonna move it off the Y. Where's the other one? Oh, whoops. I'll move it up. Sorry, move it off the Y like that. And then this edge, I'm gonna rotate it up. Or I guess I could. Well, anyway, whatever, as long as it has a rotation. And then I'm gonna skin this. So then we'll use this to sort of see what's going on. And I guess this one I'll even do even more. Or I guess even more of this. We'll do it like that, yeah. And then skin, I'll remember to do connect ends, right? So then if I add a fillet here, I guess I'll probably be like 20, right? No, probably a little more than that. Let's do like 50, right? And then add a fillet here. You see how this fillet here is sort of like twisting around? That is happening because of that twist here. And the reason why is if I look at this, oops. If I look at this, oops, this cross section, right? If I go object edit, where's the object edit patch precision, right? Then I untrim it. If you see all of these, the angle between them is changing over time, right? This stuff, and so what's happening is it changes the chordal, the placement of the chordal fillet, because the angles aren't exactly correct, and this is basically why I'm using this. That's why I'm sort of aligning them tangently to other like slave surfaces to control this, because I'm trying to make it so that when the bottom surface touches the side surface, it has a relatively same angle. So what I'm actually doing, if I untrim this, if I extend it, I'm sort of using this if you saw back there, I'm using this surface to make sure that throughout the whole thing it's constant, you know. This gives me more control over my fillet. So that's basically what's happening. If I were just to, if I go back to, let me delete all this. If I would go back to this, right? If instead of doing that, like instead of doing that with the angle, trying to control this angle, right? These two angles. If I didn't do that, it would be a bit. I wouldn't have as much control, and then this fillet wouldn't have that good of a relationship to this fillet, you know, because it would and later, I mean in a second, I'm gonna make all this relate even more by moving this around. So so just remember that I'm doing this. The reason why I'm adding all these like slave surfaces and all that is so that I can control how the angles that these two surfaces are meeting. I'm using these as a way to control that, and this will make it so that the edge of my phone will be very nice and constant. The turning point is going to be the same, as opposed to a bit wobbly or just a little bit farther up or a little bit farther down. So yeah, that's like sort of the reasoning behind using these guide surfaces. I use guide surfaces all the time to control that sort of thing. You know, when you're going through like a body side and you want that core to be very controlled, you know, it helps to think of it this way. You know, you got to remember that a fillet depends very much on the relationship between the two surfaces and the angles that they hit. So if you keep if the more control you have over that, the cleaner your model is gonna be. So that's sort of the science behind what I'm doing. And now that I saw it like this, what I'm gonna do is make it make it more give me more transition, maybe to somewhere down here. So I'll delete that. First I'll get rid of this. It might freeze because Alias is dumb. Hold on. And see, even now, because even now I could see by analyzing this line, I could see that it's probably dipping down, and there's actually more analysis tools on how to do that. But the reason why this isn't really working in terms of being really easily perfected is because the distance is different between these CVs, this CV and this CV, and this CV and this CV. So you have to sort of do a lot of custom work to make sure that you have full control over all those surfaces. So first I'm gonna remove. I freaking hate Autodesk so much. Well, I don't have to remove anything now, just reopen my file, huh? Okay, so now that I sort of did this little quick version of it, I'm gonna rebuild the back and do a bunch of stuff, and I'm gonna slowly sort of talk through the process. So first, let's just delete this instead of deleting the construction history, because Alias will freeze on us. We'll untrim that, and we'll delete those curve on surfaces, and all this stuff I don't need right now, so I'm gonna put it in my archive, including these surfaces that we made. So the first thing I know that I want to do is set up give this surface more transition to reach these edges, and so the first thing I'm gonna do is actually rebuild this. And I'm also gonna trim convert it to become smaller, because I also know that I want them to be 15 millimeters back and then reach the same like plane at this point, right? Because see how right here it's like bending in, and the reason I want to do that is so that these transitional surfaces all have a very similar place to same elevation and same distance to make the transition. So first, let's delete these, untrim this, right? And then I'm gonna use the tubular offset again, 15, 15, like that. So that this gives me the 15 millimeter distance, and then in here, before I do that, I want to also even out this CV distribution. If you remember in the beginning of the video, we moved this up, and I never moved these up, and it's always good to try to balance out the CVs as much as possible, just so that the more balanced it is, the better it's going to look always. And to do that, I'm just selecting the CVs, and I have hotkeyed up my transform CV tool with the slider. So now that I have that, I'm gonna trim convert this like that. Okay. Now I am gonna I don't need. I'm gonna put this in my archive layer. And now I want all these to reach the same point, right? So I need a plane to sort of help me, and I'm gonna use this as a guide. And then control copy paste, place it here, place it here, and then I'm gonna skin this. And then I'm gonna position a line, project a line this edge to this flat plane. So hold on. Hey. No. My dog is trying to eat my wall. So I'm going to use my align tool, project align, positional here, this one to this one, and this one to this one, right? I'm going to put that one in my slave layer. Assign and hide, right? Then what I'm going to do is actually analyze this curvature. If I hide unselected. Well, first what I'm going to do is add another curve that connects this to this right now, just because I only want to focus on this stuff, and here to here, right? This old curve, we don't need them anymore. And then I'm going to hide unselected. And I want to analyze all this stuff, right? I want to analyze the curvature of this, and so to do that, and here I'm going to also add maybe 5 degrees, and then project, and then curvature align, but with G3 here. And I'm gonna do the same thing here. Give it, was it 5? Give it 5, and then G3 curvature line. Move this out like that, and then move this out like that. Okay. Then what I'm going to do is analyze this curve right here with symmetry, because I kind of want to see how it goes through the middle. So if I go layer new, assign symmetry, and then I'm going to use my my curvature, evaluate curvature here. And actually let me click on this one and then this one. Just to analyze that transition, and to me this is pretty clean already. And to even make this even a better transition, I can move this one around, right, up or down, to sort of perfect that slope. And there. So let me see. Now a quick way to actually change the symmetry of a plane, right? That's why I kind of added a new layer, is you click on this layer, and then here, symmetry set plane, and then you could change it. Like that, and now I can analyze this. Hold on, let me close my door. I think they're give me 1 second. So here, if I analyze this curve from here, it gets a little too flat. So I want to move these CVs down a little bit. Like that. Just to give it more balanced curvature. Like that. And this one I'll move it down like I did the other one. Out a little bit. And then there you go. Another thing that I'm gonna do real quick too is actually I am gonna rebuild this using my square tool, because I sort of hyperanalyze this side and this side, and I want these to get distributed more equally. So I'm gonna hide unselected, and then I'm gonna use my square tool, square surface, square, free. And I'm making the same amount of spans, degrees, like that. And if you used here in 2, if you use implied tangency, it'll make it, or actually implied curvature, it will make a curvature on this plane, and same thing with one. If I go implied curvature, I think that's how it works. So there you go. The difference is very, very minuscule. Basically, this little, delete the old one, and then. So then from here, I'm gonna rail this. I'm gonna rail this curve with this, and then in the rail options here in rail, I'm gonna put curvature. Same thing here. I'm gonna rail this with this, and rail 1 would be curvature. All right. Then I'm gonna align the set the. Let me get this out of the way. Assign symmetry. So object invisible. So to sort of analyze this, right? I'll grab this, edit, duplicate, mirror. Oh, whoops! I mirrored it off the wrong side. So because this symmetry is still the old symmetry. I mean, you know how I changed it. So I need to duplicate it to the either change this axis. I'll change this axis so to get it back to normal symmetry, set plane. And then you click on the square. The hell is that square? Oh, I have to click it here. There you go. And then pick surface, edit, duplicate, mirror. And then I could analyze it with these tools, but first I have to set the orientation correctly. I really hate that they added another orientation. Oh, and I forgot to align these. Oops. Then I'll align this to this. And this is aligned, right? I'll now align this to this. It doesn't have to be positional. So then here, I am gonna add a little bit of lead in, just a little bit, just push it in just a little bit. I'm trying to do it as minimal as possible because I want it to be very, very clean. And then this is just the older one, right? So if I go here and I go edit, duplicate, mirror. And I don't know if, let me double check. Oh yeah, okay, it's good. Okay, so let me take away the symmetry, or delete the other side. And if we see, like, for example, we could use the zebra stripes, right? I should have done that before I deleted the rest, huh? I'm gonna do symmetry again. Zebra stripes, rainbow zebra stripes. And before I do this transitional surface, what I can also do is grab this and do, I want to evaluate the curvature of all of it. And if I go to evaluate dynamic section, well, I had to select these. There you go. And then I do curvature on. can sort of see how everything is working. And then again here, evaluate. Dynamic section, where is it? Here. And click here to just see the other plane, and then curvature on, and then the curvature scale will go down. And there you go, I could see sort of how that is working out. So, which is to me is fine for this sort of just a cell phone back. A lot of times, especially with product design, the good thing is that with the rapid prototyping, it's so easy just to quickly check and print it out, and you could check it by hand, see if you like the feel of it, you know, because that's so much more important than how the reflections look, especially with a product like a phone. So, what's next? Let's add the now, let me just double check again the curve. No, that's fine. Nice and smooth. Okay, so now I need to add the corner, right? This little corner. So if you remember, I did the old one, right? If I open up the archive, I have the old one here, and I'm just gonna grab the curve of this one using my duplicate curve tool, and I'm assign it to this new layer and get the archive away. Okay, so now I am gonna use this curve as a way to start my that corner, right? Because we already kind of like this already. So the first thing I'm gonna do is insert a curve on surface like that, and then I'm gonna press Control Alt to sort of snap it to here, right? Sure. And then here too. Insert, snap, snap. There you go. If I click on, see it snapped it here. Then trim and trim, right? So now I know where that's gonna end up, and what I'm gonna do is use my extend tool and extend this out like that, delete history, move it this way, and then go back and move it this way, like that. And then I'm gonna do the same thing here, like that, and like that, and here, right? Before I keep going, I'm gonna double check if I have my curvature here, and I lost it, so I'm gonna use project align here. Oh, whoops. Project. There you go. And here. And I'm gonna delete the curve on surfaces that the project align did, and just double check real quick that my align is still good. Okay, so then I need a couple more curves, right? I need a curve here, and I could use my I could probably just use my I'll use my blend curves, right? My blend curves is here, a blend curve toolbox, and then I go new, and select here, go this way, select here, go this way, and then same thing here. Select here, go this way, select here, go this way. Then I need to select the blend points like that, change them to G3, and then I need to select the curves and change them to 7 degrees, right? And the good thing about blend curves is if you go to this edit, right, I could click on, I'll click on all of them, right, like that. And then they have these little icons, and I can move the icons. These right here, if I press it, see, I can move the edges or make these CVs talk to each other. right? Okay, so this one I just need to skin it. All right, and then this bottom one right here, all I have to do is square it. So I'm gonna use my square tool with a 7 degrees curvature, and there you go. You see how different it is, because I forgot to double check the angle of this one versus this one. But since everything's still like sort of live, right? If I see it like, let me see, like here, if you see this, see how it bends down. I could always do a lot with that. I could select the. I think I'll move all of them. Up. That's another way of sort of making this, figuring out how this line relates to this line by analyzing this transition and see how it kind of goes down here. So if I move this up like that, then it's all good. I'm gonna move this one down just because it doesn't look right. And maybe that was a little too much. And then there. So let's see, let's go back and untrim. I mean unhide. I think this is this symmetry or what is it? Okay, this is the older surfaces. Let me delete these. And then now I'm gonna hide these curves, put in the curve, and then let me shade this up. How come I can't? Let me see. Or is it the same? Oh, okay. It's because it's the same shader. Okay. So now I need to project align it here, and also I think I need to double check that. I think this thing is going up a little bit. Yeah. For some reason the blend point curves, they go up a bit. So I think I already did this in earlier today. So I go align options G3, and then oh whoops. Align G3 edge, like that, hit it, edge align, and then same thing here, edge align, and it looks like it needs a little more, and there you go, now it's straight. I guess I need to do that here too, huh? Edge, there you go. Now I'm gonna delete the history of everything and project a line here. And so I go, no, let's go project a line, and then right now we'll just go like that. And then let's see how, if I curvature check here and here. All right, so let's I wonder if I do this, that'll be okay. I could probably add more, and that would help everything. I guess I don't mind adding 8 degrees. The main reason why a lot of people, and this is more advice on your career in general, a lot of people, they get obsessed over keeping everything 5 by 5 and stuff like that, and I used to too back in the day, but nowadays it doesn't really matter, in the sense of that give me 1 second, there's a gardener outside. In the sense that if I were to like really be like, okay, I only want to do 5 degree surfaces here, I would be asking a lot for a 5 degree surface to do. So if I add more degrees or more spans, it makes it easier for that to happen. So it's not really, you don't have to be too hypercritical on spans or CVs, because nowadays I've seen you know, beautiful models with millions of spans, and not millions but a lot of spans, and to me it doesn't really matter as long as the highlight is controlled, then we're fine. So if I see. Okay, so if I analyze my curvature, see everything's nice and very subtle, and nice and smooth. I'll add a fillet using my fillet tool, but like 0.8. I'll add a fillet here to here, here to here. And, actually, you know what? That's a good example of when I, like how I said last time. You see how my fillet tool isn't finding curvature here? And what I explained long time ago about the fact that this is planar. So what actually I'm going to do, and luckily since I saw this, it made me remember that I forgot to put volume on here. So first, let me save, obviously, because you know we might lose everything. So undo that. Undo that. And then I'm gonna add volume to these. So here I'm gonna add 2, and then select this hole. Select this hole, and then using my transform off the nerve, add a little bit of volume. Same thing here. Add a little bit of volume. And then realign all this stuff. This one, oh, whoops. This one to this one. And this one to this one. Okay, so now that has some volume, and let's see what happens now that when I add another fillet, right? See, now they're all green, and let's do that again. So then if I duplicate this, right? Edit, duplicate mirror, and symmetry, we could see this nice and smooth back. It's even hard to, let's see, maybe like that. See? I could have done it even. That's the beauty of nerve modeling, is, you know, like you know, I can maybe even do it smoother or something, but it's like really if I wanted to, you know, like it's really, you can focus on one little corner for years, you know, as long as and whatever however curvature or transition you want, you can make it happen, you know. So yeah, here's the back, and I think this will be the end of this video. And now that we sculpted the back, we'll add the details. You know, like now that we have this nice little solid base, it's really gonna make everything a lot better. So yeah, I hope you guys learned something. I know that let's just remember that, you know, take what you can from this video, or my videos in general, you know, like nothing I'm doing is law. There's definitely other ways to model all of this, you know. Let's say if I would have, instead of using this curve and then this transition, what if I would have kind of done something like if I go from the side. and then here, right? And then let's, I don't know, put like 7 degrees or something, 8 degrees. And then align this to this, G2, and align this to this, G3, and then from here, right? I could have, and then I would have railed that, and I don't know, move something out like that, you know? I could have probably done something like that, right? If I rail this 6 like that. But I prefer to use a more constructed method, and sometimes I use that another method, right? Like you kind of maybe using a whole curve here to dictate that path. But you know, it all really depends on your style. So yeah, that's how I do this little back, and yeah, the next one we'll start working on some of the details.